Assalamu alaikum everyone, I'm Saad and you're watching Pitch Talk on Inspire FM. In this show we'll be talking about the latest cricket news, and the topics which I will be talking about are the ODI match which took place between South Africa and England, and the next news which I will be discussing are a few players have retired from international cricket. We'll get into that as well, and then we'll also get into the news about Jamie Overton, England's fast bowling all-rounder. He's announced a break from Test cricket, so we'll get into that news as well. There's probably a bit of depth detail about that news, so we'll get into that, and then we'll also be discussing Pakistan cricket and Pakistan's defeat against Afghanistan a few days ago in the T20 match. We'll get into that as well, the analysis for that shortly too. So for the viewers, if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM on their number. I will get those questions answered for you in the next show, inshallah. So without further ado, I'll get into the first news. The first news is about the England vs South Africa ODI, which took place in Leeds, the first ODI between the two teams. South Africa opted to bowl, and after winning the toss and the first 10 overs of England's batting, England really struggled to get a move on in terms of the scoring rate, and they lost early wickets in the shape of Ben Duckett and Joe Root. But then Jamie Smith has been a wonderful find for England. He's a very young, dynamic, explosive batsman, left-handed batsman. So he's a left-hander, so he's very stylish and very aggressive at the same time. And he played a good knock of 54 runs off 48 balls. And their dangerous players, Harry Brook and Josh Buttler, they failed to trouble the scorers with 12 runs and 15 runs respectively. And then the rest of the batting lineup, it actually looked like a phone number, to be honest. With England getting all out on 131 runs, and Keshav Maharaj, South Africa's spinner, left-arm orthodox spinner, taking 4 wickets. And he bowled out a very good economy of 4. And with that, Leon Mulder also took 3 wickets, and England got all out on 131 runs. And with this score was not a very good score. It was not a pass score. It was not even a defendable score. Considering it was an ODI match, this wouldn't even be a defendable score in a T20 match. So it speaks volumes of how bad and how shocking England's batting display was. England over the last year or so, or even last 2 years, have struggled in one-day cricket in terms of the reputation they had after the 2015 World Cup, where they sat with Owen Morgan, the captain of that team of the ODI team, even I think of the white ball team in general. And then you also talk about Andrew Strauss and all the other senior players. They spoke about how England can change their one-day cricket and how they can change their style of play, their approach and their mindset. And we saw from 2016 to even 2019, England were arguably the most successful white ball side in international cricket, especially in one-day cricket. If I talk about the 2017 Champions Trophy, they made it to the semi-final. The 2019 World Cup, they won the World Cup. So it shows how amazing they were in one-day cricket. They had such dangerous players in the shape of Jason Roy, Alex Hales, Johnny Bairstow, experienced match winners like Ben Stokes and Owen Morgan, and even consistent players like Joe Root, and then the finisher Josh Buttler. He was very superb in his role at number 6 for England as a wicketkeeper batsman, in the finisher role. And then the spinners, Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali, they were very successful. Moeen Ali was a good addition for England's side with the bat and with the ball, and tremendous in the field. And then they had Liam Plunkett, who was also good in the middle overs with his bowling, especially in the 2019 World Cup. He was highly effective with his slower cutters and variation and deceptive slow balls, which tricks the batsman. And then if I talk about the likes of Chris Woakes, his ability with the new ball to swing the ball both ways and to pitch the ball at a certain length to create doubts for the batsman. And then Jofra Archer, he was also vital with his pace and his accuracy. To bowl a short run-up with such tremendous pace is what made him dangerous in that 2019 World Cup. So, to talk about England's team, they were very, undefeatable, I would say, in that period in 2019. So, they've had a big downfall over the last few years. And if I talk about South Africa's batting lineup, Aidan Markram, he was the shining star again. he's had a very good year with the bat for South Africa. I mean, I remember a few months ago, recently, he was the man of the moment for South Africa in the World Test Championship final, which South Africa won. I think he was also the captain as well. So in this match against England, Aiden Markram scored 86 runs of 55 balls and a strike rate of 156. I mean, a strike rate of 156 is unheard of in ODI cricket. To have that strike rate shows how aggressive, how dangerous Aiden Markram was with the bat. 13 fours and 2 sixes. So Adi Rashid took 3 wickets for England, but at the same time he had a high economy of 6.8, which is why he struggled as well with the ball. As well as taking wickets, he gave a lot of runs, which is why England struggled to defend the score. So with that, I'd say that if England want to improve their one-day cricket, they need to look to back their players. They need to focus on selection and criteria. And I think because there's been lots of T20 cricket, England's selection has mostly been based off T20 cricket. And I don't think they pay more attention to their England Domestic One Day Cup which recently took place. I think that's something that they need to take focus on. Players like Kashif Ali, for example, he's been very good in that One Day Cup. He's a player who England can look at. He's aggressive, he's dynamic, he's got that style of play, he's got a range of strokes, and he's, fearless in the way he plays. So I think he's a player England can look at. And I think England, whichever player they select, they really need to keep that consistency in selection, like they used to as well. And they need to have a criteria for selection. I mean, a certain number of matches for a player to play in domestic cricket before he's brought up into the England team is very essential in order for England to have some good success in their one-day cricket and T20 cricket in general. If I look at the current one-day team, they have some very good players. Joru is arguably one of the best players England have ever had in one-day cricket and Test cricket. And even in one-day cricket, he's one of the best players in the world because of his consistency, because of the amount of runs he scored, his average, his hundreds, his impact that he brings, his new style of play with his range of strokes, his innovation. If I talk about Jos Buttler, his role as a finisher, even though Jos Buttler is arguably in his last few years in international cricket, he's still one of the most dangerous players because of his six hitting abilities and his potential to take the game away from any opposition at any point of time. And then if I talk about Adi Rashid, he's been arguably one of the best bowlers England have ever produced, and arguably, and if not the best spinner England have ever had in one-day cricket. So I think his ability to take wickets in the middle overs, deceive the batsman with his googly, the wrong ones, is what makes him highly effective, and is what is the reason why at the age I think of 37 or 38 is why he's still playing for England in one-day cricket. He's still very fit. So I think England are really good, are doing a good job at considering him as well. And then when they have Jofra Archer, if they can even bring back someone like Reece Topley, I mean, he's a good left-arm seamer, because left-arm seamers are very effective in one-day cricket. If I talk about, there are many to name: Trent Boult, Mitchell Starc, Shaheen Afridi, if I talk about Marco Jansen, if I talk about Mohammad Amir back in the day. I mean, left-arm seamers, Jasprit Bumrah, I think he is left-arm, I think he's right-arm, so I don't think he counts, but left-arm seamers are very effective and very dangerous in the opening spells, in the opening overs in one-day cricket, because of their ability to take the ball into the right-hand batsman is what makes them a dangerous species to deal with. So with that, England have many issues which they need to focus on. Their batting is something they need to focus on. I think someone like Liam Livingstone is someone who they can really give more consistent chances to because of his style of play. He's very, versatile. He's got all the shots. He's good at six hitting, which is in demand in one-day cricket. So I feel he can be a dangerous player for England if they want to really be successful in one-day cricket. So the next news is about Mitchell Starc. He's announced his retirement from T20 cricket. So I think that's a very good decision by Mr. Starc. And I think it's also a lesson for certain players. I'm mainly focusing on the Pakistan cricket players. How Pakistan over the last 5 to 6 years have had an emphasis and a large focus on T20 cricket. if I talk about the likes of Shaheen Afidi, Haris Rauf and other Pakistan cricketers, they play more T20 cricket and less Test cricket and one-day cricket, whereas the teams like Australia, England and India, their players mostly focus on one-day cricket and Test cricket, which is why they are really successful in cricket in general, and why they're considered some of the best players in the world, and they'll probably go down as some of the best players in the decade. So this Mitchell Starc retirement, I think he's played 65 T20s for Australia, and it's kind of weird because he made his T20 debut in 2012. He's retiring in 2025, not to mention that in 2024 he didn't play that much T20 cricket, but the fact that he's retiring is a clear lesson for certain fast bowlers like Shaheen Afidi and even Haris Rauf, where their focus lies. Should they focus more on T20 cricket, or should they focus on building a legacy by performing more in Test cricket and by consistently playing Test cricket? And it's not just their fault; it's the fault of the Pakistan Cricket Board for not arranging more Test cricket, to more Test matches and one-day matches. Because if there were more Test matches and one-day matches arranged, then that way I feel that Pakistan would be more successful in their cricket. They would have more viewership, they would have more eyeballs, and their cricket would be more attractive that way. So I feel that if they are going to play more Test cricket, and if they're going to have more good performances in their Test cricket, it's not just about playing Test cricket, it's about improving in terms of their performances and their consistency in selection, in ensuring merit is brought forward in terms of selection, and ensuring that Pakistan wins as many matches as they can, so they can even get to the World Test Championship final, which they struggled to get over to the last few World Test Championship cycles. So I feel that this retirement of Mitchell Starc is a lesson for all Pakistan cricketers, and especially those who retired from international cricket just to focus on T20 cricket. And these retirements from international cricket, we're seeing that players like Nicholas Pooran, Henrik Klassen and other players as well, they have, and even Andrew Russell, Sunil Narayan, they have more of a focus on T20 cricket just to make money. But that's there's nothing wrong in making money, but that's a wrong approach in terms of building a legacy and a positive image for cricket in general. Because the real cricket, they say, is Test cricket and one-day cricket. Why? Because that cricket is arguably the most toughest cricket and the hardest formats to deal with in terms of fitness, stamina, performance, consistency, match-winning abilities are tested in those formats. So, the way cricket is going, and it takes me later into my topic of Jamie Overton. The way cricket is going, I feel that players who are retiring from T20 cricket, they are not bringing a positive image for cricket in general. And cricket has to be more focused on Test cricket, and Test cricket needs to be promoted, especially Pakistan Cricket Board, if they want to have more viewers and more, if they want to have a more positive image, and if they want to be one of the best cricket teams in the world, they need to focus more on Test cricket. So it also brings me back to Mitchell Starc. He played 65 matches for his country in the shortest format, and he was part of Australia's side that lifted the World Cup title in 2021. Now I'll get on to my next retirement news, is that Asif Ali, the Pakistan power hitter, he's announced his retirement from international cricket, where he played 21 ODIs and 58 T20s for Pakistan. He was an aggressive batter, and his best knock, which he played for Pakistan, is the 7-ball 25 runs in a tense win over Afghanistan in the 2021 World Cup. Asif Ali was wearing the Pakistan said that wearing the Pakistan jersey is arguably one of the biggest honours in his life, and that he made his T20 debut after a good PSL with Islamabad United in 2018, where they lifted the trophy, and he played an impact knock in the final. I remember, I think he hit a few sixes against Hassan Ali or Wahab Riaz, one of those fast bowlers, but Asif Ali has always been amazing for Islamabad. He must have over 50 sixes for Islamabad, because Asif Ali, I can remember off the mind that he's played amazing knocks for Islamabad United. He's got a 50 against Lahore off 19 balls, I think, in the 2019 PSL. The 2018 PSL, as I mentioned in the final, and in that PSL in general, he's very effective in his role as a finisher. And Asif's role in international cricket has been very misunderstood. was he just a middle order batsman, or was he a finisher or late order basher? In the 2022 Asia Cup, 8 balls 16 runs helped Pakistan win over India in his T20 career for Pakistan. He's batted just over 7 balls and innings, and a quarter of his innings were unbeaten. So it shows he came in late, and maybe he wasn't fully utilised by the Pakistan selectors and by the head coach, and even by the captain Babar Azam mostly. Even Sarfraz Ahmed was the captain at times when Asif Ali was in the team. So Asif Ali's retirement shows that he will go down as a wasted talent, because he no doubt was one of the best strikers of the ball in the country. His ability to hit sixes and take the game away from opposition was clearly there, but I think a lack of game awareness and also a misunderstood case by the Pakistan Cricket Board is why Asif Ali's career will not be where he wanted, or why he'll go down as a unfulfilled potential and a player who is wasted. But I feel that, if he can still change this decision by announcing his retirement back, if he performs well in leagues or even domestic cricket, if he chooses to play that. So, getting on to my next news, I'll be discussing about Jamie Overton. And this links to my point which I've been talking about, of cricketers retiring from, international cricket just to focus on T20 cricket for money. There's a similar case with Jamie Overton, the England all-rounder, announced retirement from Test cricket to focus on white ball cricket. At the age of 31, he believes he can't balance the pressure and expectation of playing all 3 formats. And this decision has been a clear smack on the face for England cricket, who are well known for their success and rich history in Test cricket. And within the Ashes series, which is set to take place in November, Jamie Overton was definitely in the plans for the all-important tour, and England's Harry Brook was shocked at Overton's decision because he thought he did well in the previous tour. I think it was against the previous tour, if I'm not wrong, they played a Test series against West Indies, if I'm not wrong. But injuries have affected Overton's career. So, Jamie Overton retiring brings a negative image for England cricket, and it shows that players who like Jamie Overton are not focusing on Test cricket, which it needs to be focusing on, and especially in the Ashes, which is seen as one of the best cricket rivals in cricket competition in cricket history. If Jamie Overton is excluding himself from that, it shows the mindset and the approach which England players are taking, which they are focusing on. So I feel that if players like Jamie Overton or even other England players, if they want to be successful, their main aims need to be Test cricket, and they have role models in the shape of Ben Stokes, Moeen Ali, Stuart Broad. James Anderson is the biggest role model for cricket history in Test cricket. He's still playing. He's 44, 45 years old. I think, actually, that's a bit too much. I think he's 43. So, him playing Test cricket, I think he recently retired last year or the year before. Last year, I think it was. So, for him to retire from Test cricket, it shows that, he played, James Anderson played a long time for England. I think more than 15 years in Test cricket. Over 600 wickets in Test cricket as well. So it's a lesson for Jamie Overton that Test cricket is the pinnacle format. If you want to be successful in cricket, if you want to build a legacy for yourself, and if you want to make a positive contribution towards building a legacy for England cricket, Test cricket is the place where you have to be performing, where you have to be grinding in domestic cricket in the county championship, Division 1 and Division 2, whichever division you play. I feel that if you want to be successful, Test cricket is the format which you need to focus on. And Jamie Overton looking to focus on white ball cricket is not good. Yes, it's good in terms of financially, it's good for money and everything. There's nothing wrong in that. But if you want to, go down as one of the best players for England, Test cricket is one of the best formats, which you need to focus on. I mean, if I talk about some of England's best players, which they've had in recent times in Test cricket, if I talk about their team in Test cricket, if I talk about players like Ben Stokes or players like, Joe Root, let's talk about Joe Root firstly in Test cricket, his runs. He's played 158 Test matches. That's a lot of Test matches. in this day and age to play 158 test matches with all the emphasis, all the noise on T20 cricket, Joe Root is a clear example here of how to play test cricket and how to perform and lead from the front. His highest score in test cricket is 262. He has 13,543 runs and average of 51.3. Strike rate of 57.50. You know, he's got 1,451 fours, 66 50s, 39 hundreds and 6 double hundreds. He doesn't have any triple hundreds, but that record is amazing, and no doubt he will go on to, surpass Sachin Tendulkar and become the most highest run scorer in Test cricket history. And no doubt Joe Root deserves the number one Test rank for batsman in the world, and I think he is my favourite player in Test cricket because his technique, his shots, his technique is, amazing to watch. His base is so, pure and so still and so orthodox. He's an amazing player to watch. His class, his consistency, he's, he's street for the eyes, as they say. So Joe Root is a player who England have had in Test cricket over the last 10 years who've been very effective. And another player who I will discuss about is Ben Stokes, England's all-rounder, their captain in Test cricket. Arguably one of the best all-rounders, in my opinion, one of the best all-rounders England have ever had. I think the best all-rounders they have ever had. So 115 Test matches, 7,000 runs Ben Stokes has in Test cricket, which is a lot of Test runs for an all-rounder, actually, if you give him that margin. 35.7 is his average, 1,435 50s. He's been very effective, and if I talk about his exploits with the ball, Ben Stokes has 230 Test wickets, which is a lot of Test wickets, an average of 31 with the ball, and economy of 3. And in recent times, if I talk about some of the players who have been successful for England in their Bazball era over the last 3 years, which is why England's Bazball has, style of play, their revolution of Bazball has been very successful. One of their players, their openers, Ben Duckett, in 38 Test matches, he has 2,872 runs at an average of 42.87, which is the highest score of 182. And as I mentioned, he has an average of 42.87, 16 50s and 600s. That strike rate 86, which is very good, exceptional in Test cricket. So I think he's a player who's been very successful for England, and if he continues his form like this over the next 2-3 years, he'll no doubt he'll be considered one of the best players England have ever had in Test cricket. No doubt one of the best openers England have ever had in Test cricket. He can become title can be his. And another player who I want to discuss about is England's ODI captain, Harry Brook. His performance in the Test cricket has been astonishing, to say the least. 30 Test matches, he averages 57.55. He has a triple hundred, 317 is his highest score. 13 50s and 10 hundreds with a double hundred. And that strike rate is higher than Ben Duckett's, which is 87 is strike rate. To have 47 6 and 50 innings, it shows how aggressively, how dangerous he is in Test cricket when Harry Brook is in full form. That 57.5 average is very high. 2,820 runs. I mean, if he plays like this for the next 3-4 years, he will go down as a potential legend, in my opinion, for England cricket in terms of legends, if you talk about, because at the moment he's got 2,820 runs, which is not bad, to be honest. In the next 2 to 3 years, he can easily pile up 5,000 runs. And then if I talk about their bowling, their bowlers who have been very successful for them, I think Brydon Cross is someone who has been successful for England in 9 Test matches with 36 wickets and an average of 30 with the ball. And I think he's been very good for England in terms of their performances, and their success in Test cricket. Another bowler I want to highlight, who lots of people have mentioned that he is not one of the. Lots of people say he might not be one of the best performers in Test cricket, and his place in the Test team is questionable. But I like him because of his action, because of his heart that he has when he comes up to bowl. I'm talking about Shoaib Bashir. He has 19 Test matches which he's played, 68 wickets at an average of 39. He got recently injured as well. But I consider Shoaib Bashir as a good Test spinner. He's young. He's I think 22 years old. He's a spinner England can invest in if they want to have long-term success in their spin bowling. So this wraps up today's show. The whole point of me discussing the Test cricket is to show the importance of Test cricket and how Test cricket will make you a legend and define your legacy, and how it's more important than T20 cricket. So if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM on their number, and I'll get them answered in the next show for you, inshallah. And with that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.